So I do pray that doors are opening. And I see from your request today that you have an awesome opportunity. And I pray that those doors will be open, and that if God is leading you in that direction, you will go through those doors and show them all that God has caused you to be capable to do. Is God three people according to the Holy Spirit? Well, there are three, but I do caution you in the use of the term people. Look at John chapter 4, verses 23 and 24. But a time is coming, and is already here, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit, from the heart, the inner self, and in truth. For the Father seeks such people to be his worshipers. God is spirit, the source of life, yet invisible to mankind, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth. How does this show that there are three? Jesus is talking about worship of the Father. So we have Jesus speaking about the Father, worship in the Spirit and in truth. Matthew chapter 3, verses 16 and 17. And when Jesus was baptized, immediately he went up from the water, and behold, the heavens were opened to him, and he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and coming to rest on him. And behold, a voice from heaven said, This is my beloved Son, with whom I am well pleased. Jesus there, the Holy Spirit coming upon him, the voice of God commending him. All three. Matthew chapter 28, verse 19. Go therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. John chapter 14, verse 26. But the Helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things, and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you. Jesus speaking, the Father will send in my name, talking about the Holy Spirit. 1 Peter 1, verse 2. According to the foreknowledge of God the Father, and the sanctification of the Spirit, for obedience to Jesus Christ, and for sprinkling with his blood, may grace and peace be multiplied to you. And finally, John chapter 15, verse 26. But when the Helper comes, whom I will send to you from the Father, the Spirit of truth who proceeds from the Father, he will bear witness about me. Sorry, children of God, I do have a little cough. It's a nagging thing, but not too bad. But you understand there are three, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our next question, does God care about our physical appearance? Well, child of God, the best that I can understand, God is concerned with our health, okay? He is concerned with our being healthy, but not necessarily how we look. Think about this. Mark chapter 1, verses 39 to 41. So he went into all of Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and casting out demons. Now a leper came to him and fell to his knees, asking for help. If you are willing, you can make me clean, he said. Moved with compassion, Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing. Be clean. Leprosy did not leave you looking good, okay? It was not something that made you feel or look your best. And it was known even then that physical contact was a major way to spread this disease. So this man had not felt a hand touch him for a while. But Jesus was not concerned about being infected, and he was not worried about how the man looked. But as far as our appearance displays our health, there he is concerned. Being overweight is not healthy. I found this out. I didn't know about it, but people whose teeth, especially the front ones, are cracked and messed up, they're called crack teeth because it happens because they're using crack, methamphetamine. Okay? He does not want to see that. He does not want to have his children having to experience that. He wants us to be in good health. Please pray for me as I head to college in Florida, and that God's will be done. Child of God, you were in my prayers for this. I don't know which college you're going to, but I do pray that God is going to use you as a light in a dark place, and that He will bring those around you to lighten your way, to give you the encouragement and support. So as you are being used to bring God's light to them, that they will be used to bring God's light and encouragement to you. We have another prayer from a young man who writes, I need prayer for my leg to get better so I can finish my senior year playing well on my football team. I have prayed for that. I'd like to hear back from you and know how that's going. And I do pray that you are a success on the team, okay? And that God will use you there. Next question. What causes us to sin? Is it something in our minds or something spiritual? James chapter 1, 12 through 16. Happy is the one who endures testing, because when he has proven to be genuine, he will receive the crown of life that God promises to those who love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted by God. For God cannot be tempted by evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each one is tempted when he is lured away and enticed by his own desires. Then, when desire conceives, it gives birth to sin. And when sin is full grown, it gives birth to death. Do not be led astray, brothers and sisters. Our own desires lead us into sin, and that is where it begins. Romans chapter 7, verses 7 through 12. What shall we say then? Is the law sinful? Certainly not. Nevertheless, I would not have known what sin was had it not been for the law. For I would not have known what coveting really was if the law had not said, you shall not covet. But sin, seizing the opportunity afforded by the commandment, produced in me every kind of coveting. For apart from the law, sin was dead. Once I was alive apart from the law. But when the commandment came, sin sprang to life, and I died. I found that the very commandment that was intended to bring life actually